Hi everyone, and welcome to the Lord of the Flies GCSE revision series. This will be our final episode on the Lord of the Flies, and over the last 10 weeks we've been looking through all the characters and themes that could come up in the exam that you're about to sit. So we've got Ralph, Jack, Piggy, Simon, the Beast. We've done analysis on all of those characters and key quotes and everything you need from that. We've also gone through civilization versus savagery, fear, which one of the students who's been watching this asked for, which was really good. Violence, we've gone through the supernatural last week. We've talked a bit about William Golding and context and what the world of 1945 post-war England was like. And we've done some model paragraphs and essays, and any feedback and questions I've had, I have answered. So we're kind of at the end, really. What I decided to do with this final lesson is similar to what I'm doing in the final lesson on all of these different series. So we're going to be looking at a piece of revision advice. Now, I've just realized that I didn't update the picture from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So excuse me on that. I could quickly do that, but I don't really see any need. You know that this is Lord of the Flies. Maybe this is Jack and this, well, that would be Ralph and that would be Simon. And just ignore the potion, I don't know. But anyway, so revision advice, there's sort of a 6-step process that I would recommend that you go through. So step 1 is I would map out all of the characters and themes that could come up in the essay. So this is not a full list, but you've got Piggy, Ralph, Jack, Simon, themes like good versus evil, civilization versus savagery. You'd have a longer list than this to map out everything, right? But you would map out the characters, map out the themes. Then what you would do, we're going to use Simon as an example. What you would do is, from memory, you would try and do as many quotes, try and write down as many quotes as you can for that character or that theme. So for Simon, I wrote down a skinny, vivid little boy with a glance coming up from under a hut of straight hair that hung down, black and coarse. Now, to be honest with you, that's quite a long quote. I would say that's longer than you would want to try and memorize. So from that, you might just remember a skinny, vivid little boy, or straight hair that hung down, something like that. Like, probably shorter quotes than this one, but that's one quote for Simon. It sort of shows how he looks. The fact he's a vivid little boy suggests that he's quite memorable. Simon found for them fruit they could not reach, passed them back down to the endless outstretched hands. So this is one of my favorite Simon quotes, this idea that he's feeding the little ones because they can't feed themselves with the fruit. And Simon is often compared to Jesus, and or, you know, like, well, yeah, basically compared to Jesus. So obviously with Jesus, there's the feeding of the 5,000 and things like that. And this idea that he's feeding all of the people that can't feed themselves kind of links to that. And remember, William Golding was a Christian, so there is some Christian imagery and Christian ideas in this novel for sure. So there's that one. He's queer, he's funny, he's cracked. So these are potentially 3 quotes, really. Now, queer isn't like a sexual preference term in the 1940s and 1950s when this was written. It meant sort of odd or strange or different. So this is showing that Simon is a bit different to the other boys on the island. Like, the other boys notice that he seems a bit strange compared to them. So he's, well, misunderstood is what I say for that particular quote. Few more quotes. A secret place in a clearing full of flowers and butterflies. So Simon actually has his own like little area of the island that he goes to, even in the middle of the night sometimes. That's really unusual, because most of the boys want to huddle together in the night time because they're scared. But Simon goes off on his own into the forest and the woods sometimes. Maybe there is a beast. Maybe it's only us. Simon is wise. He's one of the only boys that understands that the beasts could be something inside them rather than an external beast or snake or whatever. You'll get back all right. He says to Ralph that he will get back from the island safely, and that is quite a bold claim when you consider that at that time there was like no fire, no real hope. So he's kind of prophetic. That maybe links him to Jesus again, like the feeding of the little ones with the fruit, which links to the feeding of the 5,000. And then one other one, the beast was on its knees in the center, its arms folded over its face. So just the irony of the fact that the boys think that Simon is the beast, and this is where they stab and kick and kill him. Basically, they kill Simon in this quote. Okay, so once you've got your memorized quotes, which, you know, I would just recommend just write out what you can remember. Honestly, don't try and force it too much. Just see what comes out for each character and each theme. Then what I suggest you do is find a piece of longer text, an extract for the character, and see if you can generate another quote or two. So here's one that I just picked out for Simon. It's one of the more obvious quotes. Extracts. It's when Simon is seeing the beast and everything. But again, we can just look at this and we can think about what it might add. Maybe this is Simon and this is the beast. Why don't we do that? Anyway, so Simon moved his swollen tongue but said nothing. So straight away, the swollen tongue suggests that he's maybe having a seizure or a fit of some sort, and that's why he's imagining that the Lord of the Flies is talking to him. That's definitely possible. Don't you agree, said the Lord of the Flies. Aren't you just a silly little boy? So that quote's quite good, because not only do the boys on the island dismiss Simon, but the Lord of the Flies also dismisses him. So they call him queer and funny and cracked and whatever. And the Lord of the Flies is calling him a silly little boy. So all of them are against him and arguing against him. Now that also establishes that maybe Simon is hallucinating this, and maybe the hallucination is him sort of processing all of the insults that the other boys have said to him and stuff. So maybe the Lord of the Flies is that. Simon answered him in the same silent voice. So Simon doesn't even talk to the Lord of the Flies. He sort of talks via his mind. So that's really odd and supernatural. Again, it's a very trippy little scene. Well then, said the Lord of the Flies, you better run off and play with the others. They think you're batty. You don't want Ralph to think you're batty, do you? You like Ralph a lot, don't you? And Piggy and Jack. Simon's head was tilted slightly up. His eyes could not break away, and the Lord of the Flies hung in space before him. So again, this is a very creepy, supernatural image that Simon feels like he's locked into this conversation, and his eyes are just locked on the beast's eyes, and he can't seem to escape. What are you doing out here all alone? Aren't you afraid of me? Simon shook. There isn't anyone to help you, only me, and I'm the beast. Simon's mouth labored, brought forth audible words. Pig's head on a stick. Fancy thinking the beast was something you could hunt and kill, said the head. For a moment or two, the forest and all the other dimly appreciated places echoed with the parody of laughter. So this again is very supernatural. It's very strange, the personification, the idea that the jungle is alive with laughter. You knew, didn't you? I'm part of you. Close, close, close. I'm the reason why it's no go, why things are what they are. It kind of cut off after that, but you get the idea. So this extract, we've got this idea that maybe Simon is hallucinating. The Lord of the Flies is maybe a projection of his ideas from being rejected by the boys, or maybe it is a supernatural thing, because as I said, there are other references to Simon in a quite supernatural / religious way. But you can see that there's at least 3 or 4 quotes that you could get from this, which would actually then build out your knowledge of Simon. And this is, for some of you, what will happen in the exam, you'll get an extract. For most of you, just so you're aware, you won't get an extract for your Lord of the Flies or modern text, whatever that happens to be. Although if you're not doing Lord of the Flies, I don't know why you'd be watching this video. Anyway, so then the final thing that you do, so you've mapped out your characters and themes, so you have a plan of what you're going to look at. You've picked out a character or a theme, and you've done as many quotes as you can from memory. You've done an extract. As a matter of fact, let me just go through here. You've picked your character or theme. You've written as many quotes as you can remember. You've found an extract then afterwards for that character or theme. You can just Google that. You can just say like Simon Flies extract, for example. You've made links between the quotes in your extract and quotes in the text of the whole. So we tried to do that a little bit with that extract that we looked at just now. And then finally, you want to create a list of points for your character. So here are the points that I made that are all things that paragraphs that you could write on Simon if he came up. So Simon is clearly kind and helpful. You could talk about how he helps the little ones by feeding them the fruit. I didn't go through this quote today, but you could go through how he helps Ralph with the huts when no one else will. And there are several other things where Simon is clearly quite a kind boy. Simon is misunderstood. We see that in the extract where the Lord of the Flies is saying they all think you're batty, they all think you're a silly little boy. And obviously in the memorized quotes where it's talking about he's queer, he's funny, he's cracked, right? He links to the supernatural. So you could do the feeding of the little ones and how that links to Jesus. You could do the fact that he goes off into the woods alone. You could do obviously his conversation with the beast, whether it's a hallucination or real. Lots of quotes for that. And then finally, or not finally, but in my list, just quickly, finally, there's probably 10 or 15 different paragraphs you could write on Simon. But Simon is wise and prophetic. So the fact that Simon realizes that the beast could be a part of them when all the other boys don't understand that it could be a darkness within their hearts, as William Golding puts it in the final chapter. He's also prophetic, like he tells Ralph, you're going to get off the island okay. And how on earth could he know that with such confidence, right? So those are 4 potential paragraphs you could write for Simon, and there are quotes that I've just given you for each of them. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Good luck in your exams. If you have any questions or comments, do leave them down below. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, just let me know how you do in the exams. I'd love to know if any of what I did helped. And if it didn't, you must not have watched the video, because I've given you loads of help over the last 10 weeks.